So, dear students, we start with your chapter in physics, which is about one-dimensional motion. So, we first come to two terms, rest and motion. You know what is the meaning of rest? A body is said to be rest if it does not change its position with respect to its immediate surrounding. So, rest is a relative term. So, if you see something which is not moving in front of you, that is, which is not changing its position with respect to the immediate surroundings, we can say that the body is resting. Okay, but while a body is said to be in motion if it changes with respect to its immediate surrounding. So, if it is changing its position with respect to its immediate surrounding, then we say that the body is in motion. Let us take some example. If you are sitting on say a railway platform, you will see a tree near you. So you will say that the tree is at rest. Why? Because the tree is not changing its position with respect to you. Okay? But if you see a train coming from one side, you will see the people sitting inside the train, they are moving. Okay, so because they are changing their position, when the train is moving, they are changing their position with respect to you. So you will say that the train is in motion. Okay, but to a person who is sitting inside the train, okay, for the person who is sitting inside the train, if he is sitting opposite to another person, both of them will think that they are at rest because both are moving at the same speed. So, rest and motion are relative terms. It depends on who is the observer. Okay. So, I hope you have understood the meaning of rest and motion. Now, we come to one-dimensional motion. One-dimensional motion means motion in a straight line. So, when a body moves along a straight line path, its motion is said to be one-dimensional motion. Okay. So, the motion of a train in a straight track, a stone falling down vertically, a car moving on a long and straight road. So, when the road is straight, we say it is one-dimensional motion. In such a motion, there is no movement of body in lateral direction. So, body is moving only in straight path. It is not moving laterally. Sidewise, there is no movement. But if a body moves on a plane along a curved path, its motion is two-dimensional, and if it moves in space, its motion is three-dimensional. Like a bee buzzing and moving here and there, anywhere it can go, no? So that motion is a three-dimensional motion. But if you say a motion along a curved path, if a body is moving along a curved path, we say it is two-dimensional motion because it has one dimension, that is, it is going forward and sidewise also. So it is x-axis and y-axis, so two dimensions. And when it goes in a space, like you imagine a bee moving around you, it can go forward, backward, and also upward, isn't it? So three dimensions are there, x, y, and z axis. So that is why it is called a three-dimensional motion. Now, representation of one-dimensional motion. The motion of a pebble can be represented by choosing a proper scale for x on a straight line along x-axis. So here they are showing the movement of a pebble. That is, at 0 time, the pebble is at 0 position. That is the original position, starting position. After 1 second, it travels 5 meter. After 2 seconds, it travels a distance of 20 meter. After 3 seconds, maybe 45 meter. 4 seconds, 80 meter. So it is covering some certain distance. So we can show it like this, that if this is 0, the initial position, after 1 second it comes to 5, then 20, then 45, and then 80. So this can be the representation of unidimensional motion or one-dimensional motion. Now we come to the term distance. The total length of path through which a body moves is called distance travelled by it. So if the body is moving from point A to point B in a zigzag, in this fashion, it is going like in a curve. So A, from here it goes like this and it comes like this. So what is the distance travelled? So we have to find the actual path covered by this body, that is the distance travelled. Okay. So how will you find it? You can put a thread from here to here and then straighten the thread and see the distance. Okay. So that is the meaning of distance. The actual path, the total length of path through which the body is moving is called distance traveled. Then it is a scalar quantity, means it has only magnitude, it does not depend on direction. In which direction it is going, it does not depend. So it is a scalar quantity, it has only magnitude, and it is represented by the letter S. The SI unit of distance is meter and CGS unit is centimeter. Next we come to another term, displacement. Displacement is actually, the word itself tells you displacement, that is changing its place from one point to another. So displacement is actually the shortest distance from the initial to the final position of the body. Is the magnitude of displacement, and its direction is from the initial position to the final position. So this quantity has two things, magnitude. What is the magnitude? It is the shortest distance from initial to final position. So that value will be called the magnitude. And its direction is from the initial position to the final position. That is from A to B in this case. So if the body moves like this in the curve also, what we will see is where was it originally A. Now where it is at B. So line joining AB, you have to take this distance. That is the displacement. Okay. So distance is more, but displacement is less. Just imagine if it goes from A to B and come back to A, then what is the displacement? So we will see displacement, original position is A, final position is also A. So what is the displacement? 0. Okay. So in that case, displacement will be 0. But what is the distance traveled? If somebody asks, you will say A to B plus B to A. You have to add the total distance. So that is the difference between distance and displacement. Okay. Now displacement is a vector quantity. It is represented by the symbol S. It is not only S, but there is an arrow above S. Okay. So you have to put an arrow above S. That will be the representation. You can see in your textbook. Then unit, the SI unit of displacement is meter and CGS unit is centimeter. Now representation of displacement. How will you represent displacement? So here they represent displacement by a line with an arrow. Okay. So if the length of this ray will actually be the magnitude. The length will be corresponding to magnitude. So if this is shown like this, if I draw a smaller PQ, a ray PQ which is smaller, that means it has less magnitude. So the magnitude, the length of this correspond to the magnitude, how much it is. And the arrow shows the direction. That is how we represent a displacement. This is displacement vector. So in the figure, vector PQ represent 40 meters. So this is 40 meter is shown here, and one unit is taken as 10 meters. So this is 10, 20, 30 and 40. So this is 40 meter represented in the form of vector PQ, and the direction will be in which direction? From P to Q. So if it is said that the person moves towards the east direction, so you know that according to the direction, this side will be the east. Okay. So the direction is from P to Q. Now distinction between distance and displacement I will take in the next